My wife left me for a rich CEO. Then she found out who owned the company. I never thought my marriage would end over money. My wife, Sarah, and I had been together for 7 years. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. I worked as a software engineer and earned enough for us to live a decent life. We had a nice apartment, 2 cars, and enough savings to take vacations every year. At least, I thought we were happy. Everything changed when Sarah started spending more time on social media. Every day, she would show me videos of luxury mansions, expensive cars, and couples traveling on private jets. At first, I laughed it off. But over time, she became obsessed. She started comparing our life to everyone else's. One evening, while we were having dinner, she looked at me and said something that hit me like a truck. "Do you ever wish you were more successful?" I laughed and said, "I thought I was doing okay." She didn't laugh back. "I'm serious." That day forward, our marriage started falling apart. Nothing I did was enough. If I bought flowers, she asked why I couldn't buy jewelry. If I planned a weekend trip, she asked why we couldn't fly first class. No matter what I did, she always wanted more. Then one day, she met a man named Daniel. Daniel was everything social media told her she wanted. He drove a Lamborghini, wore designer suits, owned a luxury penthouse downtown. Within a few months, she became distant. She was always texting someone, always smiling at her phone. I knew something was wrong. Then came the day that changed everything. She sat across from me and calmly said, "I want a divorce." I felt my stomach drop. I asked if there was someone else. She didn't even deny it. Instead, she said, "I deserve a better life." Those words stayed with me. A better life. After 7 years together, that's all our marriage was worth. A few weeks later, the divorce was finalized. Sarah moved into Daniel's penthouse. And just like that, she disappeared from my life. At least that's what I thought. What Sarah never knew was that I wasn't just a software engineer. 5 years earlier, I had helped build a tech startup with 2 college friends. I wasn't the public face of the company. I wasn't listed on the website. And I rarely talked about it. But I owned 30% of the business. The company had grown quietly over the years, very quietly. Most people had never heard my name, including Sarah. A few months after the divorce, a large corporation offered to buy our company. The deal was worth tens of millions of dollars. My share alone was enough to make me financially independent for the rest of my life. Suddenly, my life changed. I bought a house, started traveling. And for the first time in years, I felt genuinely happy. Then one afternoon, I got a message from Sarah. The first message in nearly a year. We talked. I stared at my phone and laughed. Not because it was funny. Because I already knew why she was calling. Apparently, Daniel's business wasn't doing as well as everyone thought. Most of his lifestyle was financed by debt. The expensive cars were leased. The penthouse was rented. And his company was losing money. Meanwhile, news of our company's sale had become public. People started learning who the founders were, including Sarah. I ignored her message. Then came another. And another. Eventually, she sent, "I made a mistake." Of course she did. A week later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She looked different, not older, just tired. She asked if we could sit down. Against my better judgment, I agreed. For nearly an hour, she talked, she apologized, she cried. She told me she had been confused, that she had chased the wrong things, that she missed me. Finally, she asked the question I knew was coming. "Do you think we could try again?" I looked at her for a moment. Then I asked a simple question. "If the company was never sold, would you still be here?" She didn't answer. She couldn't, because we both knew the truth. The silence said everything. After a minute, I stood up. I wished her well, and I walked away. That was the last time I saw her. A year later, I met someone new, someone who didn't care about my bank account, someone who liked me before she knew anything about my finances, and honestly, that made all the difference. The biggest lesson I learned from the entire experience is simple. The people who only love you when you're successful don't actually love you. They love what they think you can give them. And those are 2 very different things. TLDR. My wife left me for a wealthy CEO because she thought I wasn't successful enough. What she didn't know was that I secretly owned a large share of a tech startup. After the company sold for millions, she tried to come back. I moved on and never looked back.